Morning. That's next door.
I said, oh my God, there was no
Good
way
morning.
emailed without telling that.
Good morning, Judge.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm Judge Feld. We're here for bond court this morning. This hearing is not trial. This hearing is to determine if I found probable cause for your arrest, and if I did, to determine the amount of bond to set in order for you to be able to be released today. I'm going to ask you at the beginning of this hearing not to tell me about the facts or merits of your case. Your attorney will advise you that too. I don't want you to say, everything we say is being recorded, and I don't want you to say anything that could hurt you at a later date. So if you start to tell us about the facts at the wrong time, we're going to remind you not to. Not because we don't want to hear it, but we don't want you to say anything that would hurt you at a later date. So with that said, I'm going to call the docket in the order that the clerk gave me your file. And when you hear your name, you'll come up, and we'll see how quickly we could help you resolve your cases today. We'll begin with Vivian Cobb.
Ms. Cobb is here, present judge at Maine. This is a municipal ordinance. Public Defender's Office does not represent it.
Okay. Hi, ma'am. You have a capias with a $100 bond that was set already. If you can make that bond, you could get released today, okay?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
Huh?
Shermanda
No.
Phillips?
Ms. Phillips is approaching. She's here at Maine, Judge.
Okay. Hi, Ms. Phillips. You have a felony capias and a violation of probation for a felony. Both are no bond hold, so you'll be in front of your trial judge in a few days. Good luck.
You'll see your judge September 25th. Good luck, ma'am, okay?
Constance Hall?
Paul Ryan.
She's on her way, Your Honor.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
She is en route.
Okay, so we call
Put
her?
her on recall.
Okay, thank you. Dominique Adhamar?
Ms. Adamar is here, present judge at Maine. She declined the services of Public Defender, Judge.
Okay, ma'am, you're charged with 2 counts of abusing a child without great bodily harm. I did find probable cause, and I'm going to ask the state for your priors and their recommendation of a bond set to be set.
Your Honor, Ms. Adamar, I see, she has no criminal history. Based on that, state would be requesting a $1,500 bond on each count. State would also be requiring an order at this time of no victim contact until either further order of a criminal judge, or if this case also goes before a family court judge, I have no objection to it being modified by a family court judge.
Okay, and how long, do you live in South Florida? Ma'am? Could you hear me?
Yes, yes.
And how long have you lived here?
Most of my life.
Okay, and do you work?
Yes,
Okay, and where do you work?
I'm a makeup artist.
Okay. I'm gonna set the bond at $5,000 each and no victim contact. Good luck. Kashima Dawkins?
Ms. Dawkins is here, present at Maine, Judge. She declined the services of Public Defender.
Thank you. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, ma'am, you're charged with petty theft, grand theft auto, possession of cannabis, and operating without a valid license. I found probable cause, and I'm just gonna ask the state for their recommendation.
Yeah, I'm pulling her history right now, Judge.
Okay.
Showing 2015 burglary of a conveyance and theft, 2014 grand theft auto, she violated her probation, 2014 unlawful use of false name ID, 2012 fleeing and eluding law enforcement with a VOP, and 2012 attempted burglary of a dwelling with a VOP. Also noting the probation she was put on her 2015 burglary, she was qualified as a habitual offender. In light of her criminal history, Your Honor, and the likeness and to the charges before the court, I'd be asking for a bond increase on count 1 to $1,500 and count 2 to $2,500.
Okay. You live here?
Yes, I do.
And how long have you lived here?
Since I was 11.
Okay, and do you work?
Yes, I do.
And where do you work?
Fresh catch.
Okay. I'm gonna set bond on count one at 2,500, count two, 5,000, and I'll do no charge on counts 3 and 4. Good luck. Rosha Mitchell?
North Broward, Your Honor.
Good to sit right here on the yes.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. Ma'am, you're charged with giving false ID to a law enforcement officer and criminal mischief. In addition to that, which I did find probable cause for, in addition to that, you have 3 counts of a felony capias and a violation of probation for a misdemeanor capias. I'll carry no bond hold for those. But for count 1, you okay with the convenience bond of $100?
The state is satisfied, Your Honor.
Okay, and I'll do no charge on count 2. So you'll be in front of your trial judge soon. Good luck.
Is that the 28th?
That info I don't have. Do you have that?
It's the 27th.
27th. Day before.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Is Constant Hall available? I couldn't hear. Christopher Roller?
Mr. Rowland's here, President of Maine, just Judge, this is a municipal.
Yeah.
Judge.
Okay, sir, you have a capias of $100 bond that was set already. If you could post that today, you could get out. Good luck.
Any way I can resolve this today?
Sure, raise your right hand. You swear affirm everything you say will be the truth and nothing but the truth to help you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The underlying charge was an open container.
Yes, ma'am.
You can plead no contest or guilty. No contest is telling me you don't admit or deny the charges. It's a plea of convenience, so you don't have to come back. And guilty is admitting it. Okay, and just so you know, by pleading it out, you're giving up your rights under our Constitution to have an attorney represent you, to go to trial, to appeal, to confront witnesses, to remain silent. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone forcing you to enter into the plea?
No.
You under the influence of any medication, drugs, or alcohol?
No.
And you feel it's in your best interest to resolve it today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then I'll find you made your plea knowingly and voluntarily and find a factual basis for the allegations. And we'll just do a withhold, and I'll take judicial notice, and you'll have time served, credit for time served. Good luck
All
to
right,
you.
thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Robert Fernandez?
Good morning, Judge, Your Honor. What would the courts consider in sentencing?
Okay, you're charged with prowling, the underlying charge, but you have a capias for a misdemeanor where the bond is set at $250. So I'm just, the state doesn't get involved, right? So I'll do a withhold in court, time served, if you want to resolve it today.
Your Honor, I'd like to place a plea in today, but I wanted to tell you that I waited for my court appearance paperwork to come in the mail, and it never came.
Okay.
I guess during the hurricane.
All right, so just raise your right hand. You swear affirm everything you say will be the truth and nothing but the truth to help you?
Yes.
Okay, so you could plead no contest or guilty. No contest is telling me you don't admit or deny the charges. It's a plea of convenience, so you don't have to come back, and guilty admits the charges.
Okay, I'd like to plead guilty.
Okay, and by pleading it out, you're giving up your rights under our Constitution to have an attorney represent you, to go to trial, to appeal, to confront witnesses, and remain silent. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone forcing you to enter into the plea?
Could you repeat that?
Sure. Is anyone forcing you to enter into the plea?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay, you're under the influence of any medication, drugs, or alcohol?
Say that again, please.
Are you under the influence of any medication, drugs, or alcohol?
No, I take medicine. I'm under a doctor's care.
Okay, is the medicine
I
you're
have
on?
a disability.
Okay, is the medicine you're on affecting your ability to understand what's happening?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, and you understand the rights you're giving up by pleading?
Have I done what?
Do you understand the rights you're giving up by
Oh,
pleading your
yes,
case?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, then I'll find you made your plea knowingly and voluntarily and find a factual basis for the allegations. We'll do a withhold credit for time served. I'll take judicial notice. Good luck to you.
Your Honor, Paul Ryan indicates they have Miss Hall.
Okay, thanks. Ms. Hall? Constance Hall, how are you? All right, ma'am, you're charged with possession of heroin and cannabis. I found probable cause, and I'm just gonna ask the state regarding your priors.
I know there was one that was dropped.
State?
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
checking it right now. Your
All
Honor.
right.
Your Honor, I see no criminal history.
Okay, and you live here in South Florida? Oh,
You
I
need to
can't-
turn the
yeah.
mic on, Miss Hall. This should be there we go. Thank you, Deputy.
Yes.
And how long have you lived here?
All my life.
Okay, and do you work here?
I do hair.
You do hair, okay. You okay with the bond?
No,
No, not you, I'm at state. 1,000 on count one and no charge on count two?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine with the
Okay.
convenience.
If she has no criminal history, Judge, might the court consider if she has a stable residence, something along the lines of pretrial release?
Is she eligible?
We have not verified her. If the court is inclined to do pending verification, that's fine.
That's fine.
Do you have a stable address, Miss Hall?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
They're
we're
I'm
gonna
sorry.
enter you into pretrial release. Okay?
Okay.
Is it pending verification on pretrial?
Yes.
Or are you, okay.
Okay, good luck to you. We're gonna see if you qualify, and if you do, we'll get you out in pretrial release today.
Her bond remains the same. So
If
she
not,
can-
right.
Right, thank you.
Okay. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Sky Malone?
North Broward.
Broward, Your Honor.
Mr. Malone indicated he might wish to resolve this matter this morning if possible, Judge.
Okay. Raise your right hand, sir. You didn't have a good night's sleep?
It's alright. I'm here.
Yeah, I know, we're all here. Okay, you swear and affirm everything you say will be the truth and nothing but the truth to help you?
Yeah.
Okay, you're charged with loitering or prowling. I found probable cause. You could put your hand down. And you could plead no contest or guilty. Guilty is admitting it, no contest is telling me you don't admit or deny it. It's a plea of convenience, so you don't have to come back.
I was walking around.
No,
the
no,
yard.
you don't have to tell me about the facts. Just tell me how you want to plea, no contest or guilty.
I was in someone's yard.
Okay, do you want to plea out, no contest or guilty? Just one of those choices. If
That means
not,
loitering.
we'll just set you in front of your trial judge in a few days.
That means loitering and prowling, right?
Okay, we're gonna set you in front of your trial judge in a few days. Good luck to you, sir. We'll keep
Not
this
just
bond
guilty?
at $25.
Not just
Okay.
guilty.
Larry Connor?
Mr. Connors here, present, Judge of Maine.
Okay, Mr. Connor, how are you?
All right.
All right, so you're charged, you have a capias for a misdemeanor with a $1,000 bond set already. If you can make that bond, you'll get out today.
And Your Honor, the other thing I would ask is if the court would issue a this is a domestic violence case. If the court would issue a domestic violence no contact order, the named alleged victim is Latrina Clark. I believe the clerk is prepared in order
Yeah,
for the court
we
to
got
sign.
it together. Okay. All right, we'll do that. Good luck to you, sir.
Judge, one quick question. I think he said he believes his bond may have been posted. Is there any way
Oh.
confinement status can check?
I can't do that, but I don't know.
No,
Okay.
confinement status can.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we're checking.
Thank you, Judge.
Edithan O'Neill will be next.
Not as of yet, Judge.
Not yet.
Okay, thank you. Mr. O'Neill, come on up, please. He's approaching, Judge.
All right. All right, sir, how are you? All right, sir, you're charged with touching or striking battery. I found probable cause. I'm gonna ask you if you live here in South Florida.
Judge, he does live here. He's been residing here his whole life. Right now, he's unemployed. He's currently looking for employment. He lives in Fort Lauderdale with his grandfather. They've been residing at the same residence his whole entire life. He told me his grandfather's not in position to post his bond. He'd be asking you to consider placing him on pretrial release.
Oh, I'm not gonna do that. The allegations are pretty serious. It said he allegedly put her in a rear naked chokehold, causing her to lose consciousness.
First off, to advise the court, Mr. O'Neill is out on release on 2 separate felony matters, one for possession of PVP and resisting without violence, and a second case for possession of methamphetamine. Having found probable cause, this arrest would violate his release conditions in those 2 cases. Additionally, 2013, he was convicted of possession of felony controlled substance. 2010, possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. 2010, delivery of cocaine with a violation of probation. In 2006, he was convicted of felony battery causing great bodily harm with a violation of probation, 20 months Florida State Prison. Possession of cocaine in 2004.
Okay,
and
so you're
02.
saying this is a no bond hold?
No, it's up to the court if you choose to. Sua sponte, the court can, if you choose to, revoke his release conditions on the 2 open felony cases. He's legally entitled to a bond on this case.
Okay,
On this case, the state is going to be based on even though it's a misdemeanor, based on the allegations that he put a woman in choked a woman, causing her to lose consciousness. The state is going to be requesting a $15,000 bond and no victim contact.
okay.
Judge, as far as the $15,000 for Mr. O'Neill, that's something financially, like I said, he's not going to be able to afford.
Okay.
So in the alternative, Your Honor's not considering pretrial release on this, I'd ask you to leave the standard bond in place. I would also ask you to go ahead and sign an order allowing us to photograph Mr. O'Neill's injuries.
Okay, we could get that order together. You have any objection to revoking the bond on the other 2 cases?
Actually, Judge, I do. That case, or those cases are in front of a different division. The prosecutor in that division, if they feel that it's warranted, could go ahead and file a motion to revoke bond. So it will be handled in that division. So I ask you at this time not to address it, or if Your Honor does address it, the most egregious or the strictest thing you could do is actually impose a no bond hold. I would ask you to consider something less restrictive, such as a combination of a monetary bond with pretrial. And that would give the court assurances as far as if you want to see where he's at all times, you could go ahead and impose the standard of pretrial that you wish.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is defer revoking the bond to his trial judges on the other counts, on the drug counts. And on this count, I'm going to set a $50,000 bond, no victim contact. Good luck to you, sir. William Guzman?
He's here present, Judge at Maine. He advised me his brother will be posting his bond.
Okay, sir. Good luck to you. Good
Good
luck.
luck, sir.
Travis Marte?
I've been advised he bonded, Judge.
Okay. Giovanni Basilio Hernandez?
I've been advised Mr. Basilio Hernandez bonded, Judge.
George Coley?
Mr. Coley, come on up, please.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
All right, so you already have a capious for a misdemeanor that the bond is set at $250. So you can resolve, if you could postpone, you could get out today.
Judge, I've been speaking to Mr. Coley. He's a U.S. resident. My understanding is if he goes ahead and presents, I believe it's a financial issue. If he can present a valid driver's license, typically the state may go ahead and dismiss this case. What I'd ask you to do at this time is consider the following. He's been residing in our community for 35 years. He is 56 years old. He's been married for 40 years. One of the reasons why he missed court is right now, unfortunately, his wife is battling cancer. He's the sole financial provider of his family. He works at Target, but he has no health insurance. He signed up for Obamacare. So right now, all his income is going to help towards the doctor's bills. He knows right now he can't drive. He's been taking the bus to and from work, been helping his wife to and from work, going to the doctors on the bus. There's no way financially at this point he can post bond. Judge, I'd ask you to consider our warrant on his behalf or place him on pretrial.
Okay, I'm not going to change another judge's order, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. I can resolve it today if he wants.
The thing is, Judge, unfortunately, with him not being a U.S. citizen,
Oh,
there
okay.
might be negative.
Okay. All right, we'll let him go to his trial judge. Good luck. Rigoberto Morel?
Mr. Morel's here present, Judge?
Okay, hi, Mr. Morel, how are you?
I'm doing well.
All
How are
right,
you?
I'm good, thanks. Your trial judge already issued a capias for $500 bond. If you could post it, you'll get out today. Good luck. Michael Cade?
See, now we're at the
North Broward, Your Honor. Come on, Mr. Tate.
Oh, he's back.
Hi, sir, how are you?
Ready,
All right, sir, you're charged with violating municipal ordinance and trespassing. I found probable cause. You live in South Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
You work?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I'm a disabled vet. I go to my programs and I go see the VA judge.
Okay, but what do you do for work?
I just little odd handy jobs, lawn care, and roofing.
Okay, and how long have you lived here in South Florida?
5 years.
Okay, we'll leave the bond at no charge for count one and $100 for count two. Good luck to you, sir.
Ma'am, I don't have anyone here to pay my bond.
Okay, you want to resolve your case today?
I think Mr.
Yes,
Cade did
ma'am.
indicate to me he would, Judge. He's been living here for some time, so.
Okay, you want to resolve it today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm everything you say will be the truth and nothing but the truth to help you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You understand you could plead no contest or guilty. Guilty is admitting the charge as alleged. The underlying charge was an open container for the municipal ordinance, and then trespassing. You could also plead no contest. That's not admitting or denying the charge. It's a plea of convenience, so you don't have to come back. And if you plead your case out, you need to understand that you're giving up your rights under our Constitution to have an attorney represent you, to go to trial, to appeal, to confront witnesses, to remain silent. You understand that?
Yes.
How do you want to plead?
Guilty.
Okay. Anyone forcing you to enter into the plea?
Those are worse.
I'm sorry?
No.
Okay, you under the influence of any medication, drugs, or alcohol?
No.
And you feel it's in your best interest to resolve it today?
The resets, but it's been 2 days now.
Say again?
Do you feel it's in your best interest to resolve it today?
Yes, I feel it's in my best interest to resolve it today.
Okay, and you understand the rights you're giving up by pleading?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll find your major plea knowingly and voluntarily and find a factual basis for the allegations, and we'll just do a withhold for both counts and credit for time served, and I'll take judicial notice. Good luck to you.
What does that mean?
You're going home today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Renee Lopez?
It's a med reset, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you
Just
want,
go ahead and have it back in
Michelle, do you want me to write that on there?
Okay, one more day.
I didn't write it on the others. Okay. Okay, so Kenneth Elliott, you want reset?
Mr. Elliott's here present, Judge at Maine?
Please, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Elliott? Hi.
Maine.
Okay, the state has requested, I'm good, how are you?
Good.
The state has requested that he be reset for this afternoon, so we're just gonna have him on the PM docket. I'll see you in a few hours. All right, good luck. So we'll hold this one out. I put a sticky on it. Ruben Torres Hansen?
Judge, Mr. Torres Hansen's here. He declined to serve as a public defender.
Okay. All right, sir, you're charged with, displaying a firearm during a felony, possession of Xanax, possession with intent to sell cannabis, possession with intent to sell cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and disobeying a flashing signal, traffic offense. I found probable cause. I'm just going to ask you if you live in South Florida.
Yes.
How long have you lived
Yes.
here? And how long have you lived here?
30 years.
And do you work?
I'm disabled currently.
Okay. And how long have you not been working?
About 2.5, 3 years.
Okay. And what did you do before that for work?
I was satellite TV.
Okay. I'm just gonna ask the state regarding your priors.
He's not on my system. Does pretrial have anything on him?
I see a withhold on a battery in 2003.
Okay. Your Honor, even without even without a substantial criminal history, I'm going to be asking for a bond in the amount of $10,000 with the concern being in possession of a firearm while in the possession of drugs while he admittedly told police that he deals drugs. A gun bought on the street, Your Honor. And I'm just asking that the standard bonds on the rest of the counts be kept in place.
That's fine. We'll leave 10,000 for count one. Count two will be 1,000. Count three will be 5,000. Count four will be 7,500. Count five will be 100, and there will be no charge on count six. Good luck to you, sir. You'll be in front of your trial judge in a few days. Fabian Fraser.
He's here, President Judge, your name?
Okay, hi, sir. You have 4 counts of violation of probation for felonies and 1 count of criminal mischief, which I found probable cause for. So the other counts are no bond hold, and I'll leave the bond at the other charge at $25. Good luck to you. Richard Tinky?
He's in North Broward, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you are charged with dealing in stolen property and possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. And I'm sorry?
That's from someone. It's
Okay,
not
they're
him.
not asking us anything? Okay, all right, you can hear me, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I found probable cause, and I'm gonna ask you if you live in South Florida.
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you lived here?
Judge, he's been living here over 20 years. He has a job that he's had for the same 20 years. He fixes boats. As far as the probable cause in count one, the dealing in stolen property is one of the firearms that was recovered from Mr. Tinky's residence. It was stolen in 2000 and...
From the police station?
Well, they found some guns in his house. And one of the guns, it turns out, was stolen, but it looks like it was stolen on April 14th of 2012.
Okay,
So
from the
how
police
Mr. Tinky...
station?
I'm sorry?
Was it stolen from the police station?
No, I think it was stolen in a residential burglary, but I'm not sure.
It says the stolen report came out of the Miramar Police Department. I see where you're.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't physically stolen out of the police
Okay,
department.
that's what, okay.
So I don't think that this is a dealing in stolen property, Judge. It's certainly not possession of any recent stolen property, so there's no presumption of knowledge that attaches to it. Based on the information the court has before it now, there's no way the court can tell whether Mr. Tinky ever knew that this firearm was stolen. And 2012 was 5 years ago. So it's been a long time since this firearm was stolen. We don't know the circumstances under which Mr. Tinky came into possession of it, and I would argue that it is not probable cause for dealing in stolen property.
I'm fine with no PC on count one, Your Honor. I would like to address the bond on count two, though.
Go ahead.
I am concerned, one, just based on some of the allegations, two, that a total of 9 firearms were removed from the residence. I can confirm the convictions that are mentioned in a report. He does have a previous conviction for aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer fleeing and eluding, and that was in 2009. Your Honor, based on his previous violent felony conviction and the amount of firearms that were taken from the home, I'm going to be requesting a $10,000 bond on count two.
And Mr. Tinky's not going to be able to post that kind of a bond, Judge.
Does he have priors?
Well, the state just said he has one violent prior from 2009.
That was the most recent, Your Honor, and I was mentioning that because I think it's aggravating. He has a DUI in 2008. Could you check and see if he has anything else? One moment. Burglary of a structure, grand theft in 96, and I'm just checking to see if there's anything else. That's it?
All right,
That's it,
well,
Judge.
we don't have to deal with count one. There's no charge because there's no bond. So Counter will set at 7,500.
Are you gonna be able to post that bond, Mr. Tinky?
Good luck to you,
No,
sir.
sir.
It's like seven, what'd you say, Judge, 7,500? It's like $750 with some collateral.
I could probably do that, yes.
Okay,
All
alright, do that.
right, good
I
luck to
don't
you.
have access to any phone numbers.
Is there anybody I can call for you?
I don't have my wife's phone number. I can give you, I think it's the phone number. It's 954
Go ahead.
986 9198.
That's your wife?
Yes, Mary Beth. I'm not positive if that's the phone number. I don't have my cell. I don't have anything here.
Where is your cell?
It's at the house.
Okay. Alright, I'll call that number, Richard. I'll see what I can do for you.
All right, good luck.
All right.
Okay, good luck, man.
Judge, you said no PC on one?
Right. Rocky Blythe?
Mr. Blythe is here, present judge at Maine.
Hi, sir, how are you?
Okay, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Sir, you have 2 counts of violation of felony probation. It carries a no bond hold, so you'll be in front of your trial judge soon. Good luck.
Yes, ma'am. Good luck. Thank you.
Charles Johnson?
Mr. Johnson? He declined to serve as a public defender, judge.
Okay. All right, sir, you have 3 counts of violation of probation for felonies and 3 counts of misdemeanor KPSs. The first 3 carry no bond hold, and the last 3 carry a $150 bond each. So those bonds are going to be in place. You'll be in front of your trial judge soon. Good luck to you.
All right, bye.
Okay. Silvers Robinson?
Judge, Mr. Robbins here, present, waiving formal reading of the charges he was arrested on.
Okay.
Also, his family is here, Judge. His
Yes, I
mother
see.
and his brother are present.
Okay. Hi, Mom. How are you?
Hi,
How are you, sir?
Good, sir.
Okay. Your mom and your brother are here, sir. You're charged with 2 counts of direct promote sexual performance. by
Judge, we would
child-
prefer to waive the formal reading if we could.
Okay. Well, do you know what you're charged with? Did your attorney advise you?
I did, Judge.
Okay. All right. Well, just so you know, I found probable cause on all 5 counts. And I am going to ask the state for the recommendation of bond and for any criminal history.
Your Honor, Mr. Robinson has no criminal history. That being said, Your Honor, I'm gonna be asking for bonds in the amount of $50,000 on counts 1 and 2, $15,000 on counts 3 through 5.
Each?
Each. Additional conditions that should Mr. Robinson post his bond, that he be supervised by pretrial release services with a GPS monitor, that he not be in contact with any minors, that excuse me, that he not be in possession of any devices with internet access, including his cellular phone if it does have internet access, that he not engage in any employment involving teaching or with children under the age of 16. Your Honor, the basis for these recommendations is, while I understand Mr. Robinson has no criminal history, based on these allegations, I do believe he poses a significant risk to the community. Your Honor, I believe there's a great strength of the evidence based on these allegations. Your Honor, one other thing I would like to note to the court, and I think it is relevant. I spoke with Detective Mike Silver from the Pembroke Pines Police Department this morning. He authored the probable cause affidavit and conducted the investigation. Without going into details, the very last sentence makes mention of when search incident to arrested Mr. Robinson, items that were found in his backpack. What I would like to know, because it is not mentioned in the report, is that Mr. Robinson was arrested at the Harvard International University, the place of and I confirmed with him the place of arrest address listed on the booking report is the same address for that school where the children attend, and I do believe that is concerning there. For what reason he would have to bring those items to the school of children, considering these allegations before the court.
I understand. Sir, how long have you lived in South Florida?
Judge, I have that information.
Okay.
Mr. Robinson's been residing in South Florida his whole entire life. He is 29 years old. He was employed, however, at this time, that job's no longer be open to him. He was getting paid approximately $700 bi-weekly. He lives in North Miami. He lives with his sister. They've been residing at the same location for 4 years. They rent. His rent is about $888 per month, and they share the expenses. He owns no property. He has no money in the bank. He doesn't even own a vehicle. He uses public transportation to go to and from work. He has, like I said, no savings in the bank or anything like that. However, as the state did confirm, this is his first contact with the criminal justice system. He is a registered voter. Judge, at this time, he will have his day in court. In the future, he is presumed innocent. Judge, he's strong ties to the community, as evidenced by his family being there to support him. I know he's going to be relying on his family to help post his bond. I believe his sister is a teacher. However, the funds are not unlimited. They have limited resources. Judge, what I'd be asking you to consider is setting $5,000 on count 1, $5,000 on count 2, $5,000 on count 3, leaving the standard bonds in place, and also at this time with pretrial and even level 2, so then the court would know absolutely where Mr. Robinson is at all times. That's what the defense would be requesting, Judge.
Okay.
And I would add, Judge, that having spoken to the family, Mr. Romero is quite correct. I don't think there's any way that the family is going to be coming up with that kind of money. In fact, when Mr. Lender told the court what he believed the bond should be in the case, Ms. Robinson's mother actually had to sit down because she knows that she's never going to be able to come up with that kind of money. He has no contact with the criminal justice system. This court can keep him on a very tight leash with pretrial release, house arrest, with a monitor. I don't think that Mr. Robinson would have any complaints about complying with the other conditions that the state has requested the court impose upon him. But as Mr. Romero also said, he is presumed innocent. And if a monetary bond is something that's just far beyond the family's means, then it's tantamount essentially to no bond at all.
Okay.
And I don't know if the court wants to ask any questions
Yes, I wanna
of the
hear
brother
from
who
his
is here.
Good
Hi,
morning. How you
good
doing?
morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good. And yourself?
Yeah. You want to say anything to the court?
Yes. I believe that the bond would. We don't have the means, and my mom is on a fixed income. But I believe the monitoring system would be the best thing to put in place, and even under the watch of my mother, because my mother is not working and she's home with no means of technology or for him to like do anything to jeopardize what is going on.
Okay. And Mom, you want to say anything to the court?
No computer, no nothing, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, in light of the allegations, which are very, very, very serious, some of the most serious ones I've ever read, I'm going to set the bond at $150,000 on count 1, $150,000 on count 2, $50,000 on count 3, 4, and 5. Order no victim contact, no contact with minors, no possession of any devices that have access to internet. He'll be on a pretrial GPS. And if you can't post bond, you'll see your trial judge in a few days and ask for a bond reduction hearing at that time.
Unless, Your Honor, one, I have no objection to level 2, so if he can gain employment, that's fine, as long as, and that's why I requested that
Oh,
he's
and
not
no
allowed to work.
employment in any setting where children under 16 are involved.
And the last thing, Your Honor, I meant to request this also, I just asked that also include that he not go within 500 feet of anywhere where children congregate, playgrounds, schools.
Let's make it
community pools.
1,000.
1,000, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Judge, one other just point. I know
Okay.
he has a second job. I believe it's a California pizza takeout. My understanding is then, would he be allowed to work at a restaurant where potentially the patrons, he doesn't know what patrons are going to be coming in the door.
I'm a little concerned, Your Honor, because actually I wasn't going to get into this, but that's not the information he gave Detective Silver about his second job. So I get a little concerned anytime, there's contradictory information being provided. And if we need to go into the details, that's fine, but I mean.
Do you want him to go into that?
No. I'll sit counsel.
Okay. All right. So I think restaurants aren't good because any place where children under 16 can come, I don't want him around. So we'll leave it at that. Good luck to you. Felix Flores Santos.
Mr. Flores Santos, come on up.
No.
He's approaching, Judge.
Okay. Hi, sir. How are you? How are you, sir?
Fine, thanks.
Okay. Sir, you're charged with burglary and grand theft. I found probable cause for those. And then you have 3 charges of violating probation, which are for felonies which carry no bond hold. So, you're okay with 1,000 on count 2, State?
I'm okay with 1,000 on count 2, Your
And what do
Honor.
you
As
want
far
for
as
count
count 1, you can see the charges that he's on probation for currently. It looks like actually the charge number 3, the grand theft, which was also a burglary. He was sentenced to state prison followed by probation, Your Honor. And he was classified as an habitual offender. So based on that, I'd be requesting a $5,000 bond on count 1.
Okay. And
Judge, we'd be asking you to consider a $1,000 bond as a third-degree felony. We'd ask you to leave it in place similar to the third-degree felony on count 2. But he's not going anywhere. He has a no bond hold on his VOP, so he...
yeah, so I'll make it $3,500 on count 1 and 1,000 on count 2. Good luck, sir. You'll be in front of your trial judge soon.
September 25th.
Ronald Mariquin Ortega.
Mr. Marquin Ortega is present. He's declined to serve as a public defender, Judge.
All right. Hi, sir. How are you?
Could be better.
Okay, it's true. Sir, you're charged with burglary. I found probable cause. You live in South Florida?
I've lived in South Florida since elementary school, most of my life.
And do you work?
I'm in between family houses, like my own family, like blood related. I was being trained at a restaurant not too long ago, like 4 days ago or so.
Okay. And
Now,
did you work before that?
I was working up in New York at a shoe store, Aldo.
Okay, and how long have you lived here?
Excuse me?
And when was that? How long ago?
That was about maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay, so how long?
Half a year.
How long did you live in New York?
About a year or so.
Okay, and then were you here before that?
Yeah.
And did you work here before that?
Yes, I've worked as a car salesman.
Okay. All right. Any criminal history, State?
Checking that right now, Judge.
Okay. So I'm just
I see no criminal history.
okay. What do you want the bond?
I'll leave it in the court's discretion. Inappropriate.
$1,000.
That's fine.
Okay, it's going to be $1,000 bond. If you can bond out, you'll get out today. If not, you'll see your trial judge in a few days. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, Brian Colin.
Judge, he declined to serve as a public defender.
Okay. Hi, sir. How are you?
Good morning, ma'am. Fine.
Okay, sir. You're here because you have a violation of felony probation, which carries a no bond hold. So you will be in front of your trial judge in a few days. Good luck to you.
Okay, I had a question real quick.
Okay.
I was wondering if I could be released like on a monetary device or something like that.
Well, not today, but maybe your trial judge will give you that. In a few days, you'll see him. Good luck. Calvin Martinez.
Mr. Martinez is approaching. He's here on main, Judge.
Okay. Hi, sir. How are you?
All right.
All right, sir. You're charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. I did find probable cause, and I'm going to ask the state regarding if you have any priors.
Yes, he does, Your Honor. 2012 robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon. He violated his probation based on his prior that includes violence. And the allegations in this case, which according to an independent witness, it would appear that the alleged victim was acting in self-defense when being approached by the defendant, which led to the altercation where he was allegedly ultimately stabbed. So I'd be asking for a $25,000 bond and no victim contact.
Okay. And do you live here in South Florida?
Judge, he does live here. He's been residing here his whole life. He's 23 years old. He works for a company called M&B Distributing. He's a tire technician, been working with that company now for about 2 years, making approximately $10 an hour. He lives in Hollywood. That's where he resides with his wife. They've been residing in the same location for about 7 years now. Their monthly rent is about $1,000 per month. His wife doesn't work. She's pregnant, so he's the sole financial provider of his family. Judge, as the state did mention, he has a past. However, the last offense from what the state pointed out was 2012, so that's 5 years. Judge, what I'd be asking you to do is at this time to consider setting a bond of $2,500 on Mr. Martinez's behalf, and also asking you to sign a photo order so we can photograph Mr. Martinez's injuries.
Okay.
And I would just add, Judge, that, I agree with what the state is saying about the independent witnesses' testimony as to what took place, but there's a lot we don't know about this case yet. And it could very well be a self-defense issue, as it appears both of these gentlemen were arguing with each other. So I'd ask the court to take that into consideration when setting bond as well.
Okay, well, I'll grant you motion for the order to take photos, but I'm not going to go to 2,500. I'm going to leave the bond at the state's request for 25,000. Good luck to
I'm
you,
sorry,
sir.
did the court order no victim contact?
And no victim
Thank you.
contact. Jamar Allen?
Mr. Allen is approaching, Judge.
Okay. Hi, sir, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Sir, you're here because you have a violation of felony probation. It carries a no bond hold, so you'll be in front of your trial judge in a few days. Good luck. Shaquille Joseph? Shaquille O'Neal Joseph.
Mr. Joseph is approaching, Judge.
Okay. All right, sir, how you doing?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good. So you're charged with distribution to deliver heroin, possession with intent to sell heroin and cocaine, possession of Xanax, and possession of cannabis. I found probable cause. Going to ask the state regarding any priors.
Yes, Your Honor. 2015, resisting without violence. 2012, burglary of a conveyance with a violation of probation. 2011, burglary of a dwelling with violation of probation. 2011, loitering or prowling. Your Honor, I'm asking that the standard bonds be kept in place.
Okay, and so you live here?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived in South Florida?
26 years.
And do you work?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, when did you work last?
About a month ago.
And what did you do for work?
Construction, drywall.
Okay, all right, so, I'm good with the bonds as they are, 2,500 each on count 1, 2, and 3, 1,000 on count 4, and 100 on count 5. Good luck to you, sir. Oscar Flores?
Judge, Mr. Flores is approaching. He declined the services of public defender.
Okay,
And I advise him not to talk about the facts of the case.
thank you. Hi, Mr. Flores, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. So you're charged with leaving the scene of an accident involving damage to property, trespassing, grand theft auto, and knowingly giving false information to a law enforcement officer. I did find probable cause, and I'm going to ask the state for their recommendation of bond, and if you have any priors.
Your Honor, Mr. Flores has no criminal history, just asking that the standard bonds be kept in place.
That's fine. So we'll do no charge on count 1 and 2, 1,000 on count 3, and 100 on count 4. Good luck to you. Miguel Gonzalez?
He's approaching, Judge.
Okay, hi, sir. How are you?
Good.
All right, so you're charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. I found probable cause. You have any priors?
One moment, Your Honor. He does, Your Honor. Could you see if you can get Miguel Gonzalez, please?
Sir, how long do you live in South Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you lived here?
At South Florida,
Huh?
15 years.
Okay, and do you work?
No, I get Social Security.
Okay.
Okay. He's got, he's been to state prison in Florida. His most recent prior was, Judge, 2007, Dade County, resisting without violence. He has been to prison in Dade for burglary of an occupied dwelling, grand theft, multiple burglary, dwellings, grand theft, trafficking, stolen property, felony, DWS. And he has a lengthy criminal history out of the state of New York going back to the 80s. And I recognize that his criminal history is dated. That's why I'm just asking that essentially a possession of cocaine, asking that the standard bond be left at 1,000.
All right, that's what we'll do. Good luck to you, sir. All right, and Christopher Engdahl?
Mr. Engdahl, it's your present judge in Maine.
Okay.
If you need to lean on the podium, go ahead and grab the podium, okay? All right.
All right, you finally made it to court. You were reset a few times.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, you have 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. I found probable cause when I was the judge earlier on this case, so I'm going to keep my finding and ask the state regarding.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Who's this, Your Honor?
Mr. Engdahl?
Oh, do you have? It should be on his booking sheet, Your Honor. The top center, BCCN number. Frankly, I don't have his paperwork anymore.
Okay, I have it. Okay.
It's a 6-digit number.
Is it? What's it called?
It says BCCN at the top center of the booking, not the PCF date of the booking sheet.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I have a CIS number.
No, to the right,
Yeah, it says 0.
Oh, yeah, because they didn't update it. I just need one moment to check in the system to get his BCCN number. You don't have any notes on it, do you, Patrice, at this
You
point?
need the arrest number?
No, I'll have it just 1 second. Okay, as far as Broward, Your Honor, Mr. Engdahl's criminal history includes obstructing street solicitation last month, trespass last month, resisting without violence last year, then goes back to 1988, sale or delivery of cocaine within 1,000 feet of school, possession of cocaine 87.
Go ahead, take your time. Sir, do you live in South Florida?
Me, yes.
And how long have you lived here?
51 years.
And do you work?
51.
Okay, and do you work?
No, I'm disabled.
Okay.
Judge, he lives in Davie. He lives in a trailer. He has limited financial resources. As you could tell, the $10,000 bond, if he had money, he probably could have posted out a long time ago, but unfortunately, he's still here. Financially, he can't afford that bond. From what the state was saying, I believe the most recent contacts with the system were misdemeanor, maybe municipal ordinance offenses. The last felony that I heard that Mr. Lender stated was back in the 80s. I'd ask you to take that into consideration. He went through the hospital. He had surgery. I believe one of his toes was amputated. Judge, he's recovering, but he's not in a very good place right now. Judge, I'd ask you to consider reducing the bond on counts 1 and 2 to $1,500 each count.
All right. What did we find out? State anything?
Yeah. Your Honor, state's going to be requesting bonds in the amount of $10,000 per count with no victim contact.
Okay. But you were looking for things. Did you find any other things?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was reading the probable cause affidavit.
Okay.
I frankly did not remember.
Okay.
For some
All right. I'm gonna set the bond at 10,000 for each count, and wish you good luck, sir. Thank you. Okay, that was the last person I had on my docket. Is that it?
Judge, how are you?
Hi.
One more thing. Would you allow me to recall a particular case?
No.
No.
I'm kidding.
It was Mr. Jamar Allen, Eric claiming on his behalf.
All right, could you just give me his paperwork, please?
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Does it say in the docket when his the OPD?
Mr. Linder, do you need this back so you have it?
I'll need it when you're done with
Okay.
it, but really, jeez.
Whenever
I'm
you're-
just waiting for the
Sure,
paperwork.
Sure. While you're waiting for that, I could give you a really brief spiel, because this one will be,
Okay.
the basis for the PC by Officer Corsello is that the above subject was found to have an active warrant on file. It was for possession of cannabis. I handled Mr. Allen's underlying case. This warrant itself was addressed by myself in front of Judge Lynch and was dismissed close to 3 months ago. For whatever reason, the warrant has still remained
Showed
active.
in the system?
Yes, there's an actual disposition on this
Do
for
you
the
have
date
that
of 5/25.
Your Honor, I can check. The problem is none of us, frankly, none of us know. We have and I checked, there is a warrant signed in August by Judge Lynch. Without knowing why, I have no idea why Judge Lynch signed the warrant. I just know that he did sign the
Okay,
warrant.
but was it resolved, is what I'm asking?
Oh,
That warrant,
that's
apparently
what-
apparently the warrant was dismissed previously.
Correct.
This current warrant
Oh, okay.
has not been.
which
dealt
this
with.
current warrant is dated 5/25/2017,
No, that's.
which is the warrant.
No, that's what it says the basis was.
And then-
it's signed August
What's
1st.
gonna make it difficult is his probation officer, then it still appeared that the warrant was still active, which it wasn't, cause I had the dismissal done myself.
But he's saying that was for a different
That-
It's
warrant.
for the exact same thing, so my question for you is, I don't know how much your hands are tied here.
Well, I'm getting two different,
The basis for the
stories here.
the basis for the violation might be the same, but it's not the same warrant.
Right.
What
This
it is, it's, Judge, I get how the judges do this, this warrant is the exact same warrant, because it references the 5/25 in the actual dialogue here.
It's not the same warrant because it's
It's
counsel. The warrant that was dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
When was it signed?
The warrant that was dismissed was signed on 5/25, it should have been signed on 5/25.
Okay.
However, it's still referencing, what's happening here is it's still referencing the 5/25 date as the basis for the August 1.
It might have the same reason for violation, but it is not the same warrant.
Okay,
This
I'm
warrant
not
was
gonna- I'm
signed
not gonna-
August 1st. It's not the same warrant.
The only thing that makes it very curious is that August 1 signing
You could bring
is-
that up to Judge Lynch.
Is there a way that we can get it on Judge Lynch's, so in case Mr.
I would call
Allen's
us
being-
JA.
Just do it that way and just set it ASAP if we can?
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough, we have a short week. Great, Your Honor, thanks for letting me call it
Okay,
again.
no worries. All right, everyone, I will see you at 1 o'clock.
What time do you wanna start, Judge?
Doesn't it start at 1?
It does if you say it does. You just gotta let the judge, just let the jail know.
That was my understanding, so.